or for hell. I'm yelling no more talk, unless it's the truth. You in that bullshit walking. When I'm in
Yes, you're back. It's your guy, E.D.I, and this is another edition of E.D.I Mean Talk My Truth. So look, before I go any further, I gotta let y'all know this particular episode is brought to you by my guys over at Sticky. Shout out for the new patch for EDI Mean TV, man. I appreciate that. Make sure you check in with the guys, Sticky. They got some great product over there. See, these come off. It's like a patch. Then you can put it back on. So they got collabs with us. They got collabs with Onyx. Check them out, man. They dope. All right, man, let's get right into it. Let's get right all the way into it. A lot of you guys are in your feelings, man. Y'all very emotional, very upset about a book that just came out called Only God Could Judge Me, The Many Lives of Tupac Shakur, written by New York Times bestselling author Jeff Pearlman. Now, Jeff Pearlman comes from a sports background. He particularly is known for sports journalism. He's written several books directed at sports. Books about Bo Jackson, Brett Favre, the Lakers, Walter Payton, the list goes on and on. I think 11 in total. I may be wrong. But that's primarily where Jeff comes from. This is his first time doing a book on someone from the entertainment field, pop culture, if you will. And of course, if you're going to write a book as far as pop culture is concerned, and you want to go on top of that mountain, you're going to write about Tupac Shakur. I mean, it's been 30 years since he's been gone, and the majority of what is talked about is about a 5-year period. 5-year period when this guy was really active doing his thing. And it still continues to move the world. It still continues to have people talking about it. You can have a journalist like Jeff Pearlman write a whole book about it. Now, a lot of the stuff in the book, very inflammatory, very controversial. He is rumored to have interviewed over 600 and something people. Now, if you believe Jeff really spoke to that many people, then you have to accept the fact that this is coming from these people's perspective. These people that had personal interactions with Tupac Shakur. Jeff is not just going and interviewing the average fan or the average hater. He's going to interview people that knew Pac from different stages in his life. If you believe that he interviewed this 600 and something people. And as a journalist, you have to do your research. So, again, these is those people's opinion and perspective of somebody that they knew personally. He did reach out to me to be involved with the book, and I declined. I declined by not really communicating with Jeff, because at the time I wasn't really that familiar with his work. And as a rule of thumb, I don't just offer up information for books and novels and tell-all books, so to speak. I like to deal with facts. And sometimes with these kind of books, who knows? Jeff's book, I haven't read it from cover to cover, but what I've read so far, some of it does read like fiction. You know, as far as certain things that may have been said and may have not been said, and certain scenarios that I had personal, experience with. There's some inconsistencies there. I just got to be honest. There's some inconsistencies there. I'm not going to pull no punches. And I told this to Jeff, to his face.
Marin City shooting, where Tupac, I interviewed a ton of people from the Marin City, where Tupac is holding a gun and he's shaking, his hand is shaking when he's holding the gun.
Not true. I was there.
Were you there right next to him?
I was there, right next to him.
At the Marin City
Tupac never
with
touched
Dimitri
a gun
Strickland.
Absolutely, never touched a gun that day. A gun never touched his hands. Absolutely
I
not.
have to.
And there was another thing that was inaccurate,
Okay.
since we're talking about Marin, that we showed up with bodyguards. We absolutely didn't.
Okay, wait, time out.
There's no security. Pac couldn't afford security.
You know
at that
Dimitri
time.
Strickland, right?
I'm on the gang-related set and Suge showing up every day with Tupac. Not true at all.
Okay, first off, it didn't say every day.
It did.
It came often.
No, it says every day.
Were you on the gang-related set?
Absolutely, because one of the things...
maybe it does. You might be right.
I was about to go to the
you
page,
might be right.
Jeff.
Okay, go ahead.
Yeah, it says Suge showed up every day, and somebody, not you, but somebody alludes to the fact that it was creepy that Suge was there every day. Suge was running a $300 million record label with other artists. He didn't have time to sit and babysit.
Okay.
That was one of the reasons why I wanted to interview him. A lot of people are like, E.D.I, why give this guy a platform? He's a this, he's a this, he's a that. Making a lot of personal attacks against Jeff. I don't know. I haven't known Jeff or did not know Jeff personally. You know, we met personally and we decided to have a sit down. And I'm sure Jeff knew I was going to ask tough questions because he knows what side of the fence I stand on. So instead of doing it the passive aggressive way, which is what most people do, or the passive aggressive choose to do, and leave nasty comments and under post and, send, nasty DMs and do it from a very passive aggressive way, I said, let's do it the civilized way. Let's do it and have an open debate and open dialogue about his book and some of the things that was said in this book. And if you go back to the interview and you watch the interview, and we're going to release the interview in its entirety. Right now, we're just releasing clips, but we will release it in its entirety. You'll see that I asked Jeff real questions. And not just about the book, Tupac's book. We talked about a number of different things. Of course, Tupac is the subject that's going to get the most attention. Now, when we talk about attention, let's be clear. This is not the first book written about Tupac. It's absolutely not a puff piece. If you guys want to read books about Tupac, you want to know more information about Tupac, it's a lot out there. Stacey Robinson wrote a great novel, a biography on Tupac, and I guarantee you already Jeff's book has sold more than Stacey's. Stacey's book hasn't gotten the attention that Jeff's has gotten. And you guys got to ask yourself that question, why? You know what I mean? Jeff has done a great job at getting the word out there about that book. You got to understand, if that book was just all shits and giggles and beautiful things about Tupac, none of you guys would be talking about it. None of you guys would even care about it. You probably wouldn't even read it. You know what I mean? And so, I'm assuming that controversy sells. And that's not even an assumption. We can go ahead and say it's a fact. Controversy sells. Controversy gets your attention. Controversy gets people to talking. That's why Donald Trump is so polarizing. People like him and LeBron James. You either hate these people or love these people. Tupac, polarizing. You either hate him or you love them with a deep passion. That's just it. It's really no in between. And those kind of people are the people that change the world. Those are the people that have an opinion, they believe in something, and they stand on it. And they stand on it like men. One of the problems we have in this country is people having a difference of opinion and not agreeing to disagree. That's why the government right now is about to be on the longest shutdown ever in history, the United States government. And 40 million some odd people will go without benefits, and healthcare is potentially going to skyrocket. It's because two sides can't agree to disagree and come together for the betterment of his people. And it's the same right now. You know, Jeff wrote a book and he has an opinion and he did his research and he wrote it from his perspective. Whether you like the book or not, he has the right to do that. He has the right. This is still a free country. Freedom of speech. And instead of, you know, coming from the aspect of, oh man, you know what, whoop, 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 whoop. Some of the stuff is, you know, I don't care to repeat. You know, people attack who he is, his race, his religion, and all these other things. And I'm not here to defend Jeff because, like I said before, there's a lot in that book that I don't agree with. But I spoke to him face to face like a man. You know what I mean? More times than you guys know, when I do run into certain people that have opinions about Pac and they say certain things about Pac, we have dialogue. You know what I mean? And if we can't agree, we're going to agree to disagree and we're going to keep it moving. You know what I mean? Gone are the days of, you know, you have to enforce your opinion with violence. That's why this country is where it's at now. And if you continue with that narrative and that ideology, then it's nothing but bloodshed. My opinion doesn't get validated. Their opinion doesn't get validated. Nothing is solved. So, yeah. You got to use your brain. And you have every right not to agree with Jeff. You have every right not to support that book. Nobody is saying you have to go out there and buy it. As a matter of fact, I surmise that most real Pac fans won't buy the book, won't read it, ever. And there's a lot of you guys out there that's going to read the book because you like controversy. You like hearing things that you've never heard before, whether you believe it or not, whether it's true or not. You'll go out there and you'll buy the book and you'll read the book. But like I said, there's multiple books about Tupac. And if you're a real Pac fan, you should support all of it. You know what I mean? Or support what you want to support. And if you don't want to support it, then don't support it. You know what I mean? Read the book and then form an opinion. And if you haven't read the book and you're just going on what you've seen on social media and that's where your opinion comes from, then you're a fool. Then you're a fool. You know what I mean? Like I said, I haven't read the book cover to cover, but I've read enough to have a valid opinion. And because I'm coming from a place where I actually lived a lot of this, I can have an opinion. And I can set Jeff straight on where I felt like he went wrong and where he got it incorrect. And it is what it is. The saga continues. It's your guy, E.D.I Mean, talk my truth. That's my opinion. You have the right to agree with me or you don't. Either way it goes, it's all love. I appreciate the support.
You're hard with this dialogue from the start. Came out the dark and made a mark with my art.